Om Sadashiva-Samarambham Shankara-Acharya-Madhyamam Asmadacharya-Paryantam Vande Guru-Paramparam. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryankaravavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. ज्ञानानन्दमयं देवं निर्मलस्फटिकाकृतिम् आधारं सर्वविद्यानां हयग्रीवमुपास्महे। ओम हयग्रीवाय नमः। ओम श्री वल्लभा समेत श्री महागणाधिपतये नमः। So we were looking at the topic Purvottara Mimamsayoho Bheda Bheda Vicharaha. In this, the Siddhanti says that Purva Mimamsa is a different Shastra, Uttara Mimamsa is a different Shastra. So there is a Bheda. The Purva Pakshi, who is the Vishishtadvaiti, they claim that it is one Shastra only. There is no Bheda. Now, in the context of Uttara Mimamsa, we look at what is the Vishaya, who is the Adhikari, what is the Phala. So when we look at all these things, there is a clear difference in all these things between the Purva Mimamsa and Uttara Mimamsa. On that basis only we say that the Uttara Mimamsa is a different Shastra. So the another argument also was given here, that there is a Virodha in what is being revealed by the Veda and the Vedanta. Because the Veda is addressing the one who takes oneself as a Karta Bhokta. For that person who is an Ajnani, the Veda Purva Bhaga is giving different sadhanas and sadhyas. Correct? So it is basically different sadhanas for known sadhyas, and also some sadhyas themselves are unknown. Correctly. For example, Swarga as a sadhya is revealed only by the Veda. So the end itself is unknown. That itself is revealed by the Veda. Then there are other sadhyas like Putra or Vitta. Those ends are all known to us, but the means which are suggested, like Kari Rishti for rain, let us say, or Putra Kameshti, those means are unknown to us. So the sadhana is given for known sadhya, but the sadhana itself is revealed only by the Veda. So in this manner, the Veda Purva Bhaga is all about sadhana sadhya, and again the sadhya or the end is unaccomplished. Correct? So that is the nature of the Veda Purva Bhaga. But the Uttara Bhaga is talking about Siddha Vastu, which is Brahman. It is talking about Brahmatma Aikyam. And it is addressing the one who is not interested in Karma Phala. Unlike the Veda Purva Bhaga, the one who has already analyzed all karma and Karma Phala and come to an understanding that what I really seek is not the limited Karma Phala. What I want is the limitless. And limitless itself cannot be created newly, nor it can be reached, nor it is attained by cleaning something, purifying something, nor it can be attained by modifying something. Correct? So it cannot it cannot involve any srishti. Correct? It cannot involve any samskara like purification and all that. It cannot be got by some parinama of something, modification. or neither it is aptam, correct? Apyam or aptam, because it cannot be reached. The limitless has to be available here and now already. That being the case, it cannot be the result of any action.
Draigunya
So that is something we have to be clear about. And here, what we have to understand is the Purva Bhaga and Uttara Bhaga therefore differ, or you can say they are revealing different things, you can say, or they are revealing even contradictory things. So if they are revealing contradictory, then which one we should take as a pramana? That is the question now, because you cannot accept both. If they are revealing something opposed to each other, only one of them can be a pramana. Now this again is not something desirable for the astikas. That's why we say that the Purvabhaga is a pramana in its own sphere for those who are interested in karma phala. And Uttara Bhaga is the pramana for those who are interested in moksha. Like this, depending on adhikari beda, we say that both are pramana, but still, even when you look at it dispassionately, the Vedanta alone is the prabala pramana. That is what the author here is arguing. Okay. So he says that the Veda Purva Bhaga, even though it is revealing anadhigatam, that which is not known to us, because normally when we talk about prama, the two characteristics or lakshana of any valid knowledge is that it has to be anadhigata and abadhita. The anadhigata part is fine for Veda Purva Bhaga. The abadhita is not fine because it is badhita by the Vedanta itself. Okay. So, because in the Vedanta, we come to understand that Brahman alone is Satyam, Atma alone is Satyam, Sadeva Satyam, like this. We have all this Vakya, and everything else becomes Mithya. So, that being the case, Swargadi, whatever sadhyas which are presented by the Veda, and even all the sadhanas themselves, everything is negated. Okay, neti neti iti, everything is negated. Nedam edidam upasate, like that. There are explicit statements in the Upanishads. So the Upanishad itself negates the Purva Bhaga. So that way it is more Prabala Pramana. That is the argument which is made here. And also it is said that the phala which is given by the Veda Purva Bhaga, the sadhya, are all again Nashwaram only. Correct? They are all karma phala. They do not have kalatraya vartitvam. Like this, the argument is made here. Only the Vedanta Shastra's phala, which is moksha, is shashvata. It is eternal. All the other karma phala are all nashvara only. Like this, the argument is made. Therefore, Vedanta alone is prabala pramana. Veda and all, we only accept it as a pramana with certain boundary conditions. Okay, you can say. So when we say this, then the Purva Pakshi is really worked up. So he says, I think we came up to this point. So nacha vedaha apramanamiti vadan bhavan nastika eva iti vachyam. So don't tell us that we are nastika because we have said Veda, the Veda Purva Bhaga is apramana, that we are nastika. No, that is not true. In fact, the Veda itself says Veda becomes Aveda for the Jnani. Okay. So we are not Nastika. Why? So he gives the reason. Nastikavad asmabihi Vedantaha pramanamiti anuchyamanatvat. So we do not say Vedanta also is is apramana. We accept Vedanta as the ultimate pramana. Okay. So Antyam Pramanam and all, even Bhashyakara uses that word in Gita Bhashya somewhere, I think. I don't remember exactly where. So he talks about Shastra as the Antyam Pramanam and all that. Because it removes the Pramatritvam itself, correct? That way also it is an Antyam Pramanam. That I am a Pramata itself is only the result of Ajnanam. Because the Pramatritvam also is not intrinsic to me. I am only the Chaitanyam to which everything becomes evident. Even the knowledge that I am a knower also is evident to this Chaitanyam. And you don't have to be a knower always, because the status of being a knower also is dependent upon whether a known is available or not. So, that is the truth actually. So, here we are the ones who accept the Vedanta as the ultimate pramana, and therefore you cannot say we are Nastika. And further he explains what Vastutaha Pramanatve api Avidya Dashayam Pramanatvam Vedasyapi Asmabihi Ishyamanatvacha. So further, what? So Vastutaha, in reality, even though the Veda Purva Bhaga, we say that it is ultimately, we cannot take it as a pramana because whatever is revealed by that is negated by the Vedanta. Still, we accept the pramanatvam of that in the avidya dasha. For the avidya one, for the ajnanis, those who are interested in karma phala, those who do not have vairagya, for them it is still a pramana. We accept the Vedas pramanatvam also. So, Vedasya pramanatvam api asmabhihi ishyamanatvat. We desire that the Veda be a valid means of knowledge for those people. In fact, even all other pramana also we accept, correct? Pratyakshadi. So he says that also. Ghatadi jnanam api avad vyavaharam pramahi. So even the knowledge of any object in the objective world, which we gain through either pratyaksha or anumana or other pramanas, which are accepted, all of them also we accept as valid knowledge in vyavahara. Okay. So therefore what? Tasmad Veda Vedantayoho Aikashastriya Abhavat Tad Vyakhyaneyoho Mimamsayoho api na Aikashastriyam iti Shivam. So finally he concludes and he says iti Shivam means in a that we conclude in a Shiva here means Mangalakara we have to take, correct? So in an auspicious manner we conclude that Veda and Vedanta are not the same Shastra, and also their Vyakhyana and their analysis. Mimamsa is basically analysis of Veda Purva Bhaga and Vedanta. So the analysis and also any commentaries written on them also, they cannot be considered as Eka Shastra. They are not Eka Shastra. Like this, we have now concluded in an auspicious manner, he says. Now the Purva Bakshi says, Nanu na etat Shivam. So Purva Bakshi says, no, whatever you have concluded is not auspicious at all. Okay. So now they are again coming back in a different way. Okay. So athato dharma jignasa iti arabhya anavritti shabdat ityantam sangati vishesha vishishta kramam mimamsa shastram. Okay. So here they start with the first sutra of the Purva Mimamsa, which is athato dharma jignasa. And then anavritti shabdat, that is the last sutra in Brahma Sutra actually. So the Vishishtaadvaitins say that the Purva Mimamsa has 12 adhyayas. Then in between also there is something called Madhyama Mimamsa or Sankarsha Kanda, like that it is there. Okay, there is a Purva Kanda, Uttara Kanda, but there is a in between, there are 4 chapters called Shankarsha Kanda. There is some dispute about that, in the sense that whether it was written by Jaimini himself or Kasha Kritsna could have written also. There is one view is there. But in general, it is also considered to be written by Jaimini. It is like a appendix, you can say. Okay. And also there is a confusion there also. Some people say that Purva Kanda is about karma. The Sankarsha Kanda, 4 chapters, is about upasana. And then Uttara Mimamsa is jnanam, like that. It fits in nicely, correct? But again, there are scholars who have studied the Sankarsha Kanda and say, no, it is also talking about only Shrauta Karma, which has not been discussed in the first 12 chapters. So some other Shrauta Karma only is again talked about here. Of course, some people also call it Devata Kanda, the Sankarsha Kanda. But even there, whether it only talks about Devata and their Upasana, it is disputed. In fact, the Vishishtadvaitins are very interested in the Sankarsha Kanda because Madhva and I think Vedanta Desika and all, they quote some sutras which are supposed to be there, which says that Hari, He, like that. Hari alone is the Atma of all the Devatas, and Hari is the ultimate and all that. Which again, that sutra themselves is not available in nowadays, whatever Sankarsha Kanda, and there are commentaries on that also. Of course, the Purva Mimamsa Sutras, Shabra Swamin has written the commentary, but the Shabra did not write the commentary on the Sankarsha Kanda. There are other commentaries are there by Deva Swamin and Bhaskara Raya and all these people. But even the whatever currently available Sankarsha Kanda, we cannot find those sutras. But some sutras from that Sankarsha Kanda are also referred to by both Shankara and Ramanuja in the Brahma Sutra Bhashya itself. Okay, one sutra from the Sankarsha Kanda is referred to by Bhashyakara. So that means that text was there. Those 4 chapters are also there, but they are also about Karma Mimamsa only again. Okay, so I'm just saying you this because that portion is very specially talked about by the Dvaitins and Vishishta Dvaitins, because they also think that there is a sutra there which is talking about the supremacy of Vishnu or Hari. Anyway, what they are saying here is starting from there, all these 20 chapters, okay, 12 chapters of Purva Mimamsa, 4 chapters of Sankarsha Kanda or Devata Kanda it is called, and then the 4 chapters of the Uttarakhanda, all of them form one Shastra, that is the Mimamsa Shastra, and there is a Sangati Vishesha Vishishta Krama, they call like this. So this is again, see, this is nothing new. We all know this, correct? If you study the Brahma Sutra also, Brahma Sutra Bhashya, if you study traditionally, we talk about a Shastra Sangati, correct? What is the connection of any portion of the Brahma Sutra if you study, what is the connection of that to whatever is revealed by the Shastra as a whole, correct? Shastra Sangati is there. Then there is Adhyaya Sangati we talk about. So how it is connected to the current Adhyaya. And then there is a Pada Sangati also is there, because each Adhyaya has 4 Padas. And then Adhikarana Sangati also we talk about. That particular sutra is part of a particular Adhikarana. So how it is connected to all these things, the connections have to be established properly. In fact, whenever a sutra is studied, there is a Virodha Shanka will be there. The opposing view will also be presented, and then the arguments and all have to be given, and that Shanka has to be resolved, correct? The doubt has to be resolved, the opposing views have to be negated, and then you establish the Siddhanta by showing the Sangati again. The connection and all one has to show. So this Saturvidha Sangati also, these are all discussed. So like this, they are saying that the Shastra itself is only one Shastra, and then we can show the Sangati and the Krama also. There is a certain order in which all these things are presented, correct? So we can give justification for all that by showing the connection. Therefore, it is only one Shastra. Like this, he is arguing now. That is the Sangati Vishesha Vishishta Krama. And here also, according to them, what is the Sangati? Shastra Sangati is what? Means, see, Tatra cha Kochit Bhage Yajeta Ityadi Veda Bodhita Yajnadi Kriya Vicharitaha. So now they are saying Kochit means in some adhyayas means Purva Bhaga mainly. They are saying Yajeta, like this, the linglot tavya is there throughout the Veda, correct? When we talk about a vidhi, we talk about the linglot tavya. So based on that only we talk about the vidhi. So Yajeta means that is a vidhi. So like this, there are Veda is revealing to us many yajnas, yajnadi kriya. And they are all discussed, analyzed. Okay, what are their phala? What is the iti kartavyata? All that. That is the vichara. Then what? Kutrachit bhagetu upasita ityadi Veda bodhita upasanadi kriya vicharita. So in this again upasita, many places it is there, correct? The most famous is called Vidya Sutram in Brihadaranyaka. Atma ityeva upasita. Okay. So this upasanas are all given in other places, and the upasanas only are discussed in the Sankarsha Kanda and even in the Uttara also, according to them. Okay. So in the Sankarsha Kanda, Devata related upasanas are there, but Brahma Sutra is about upasana on Hari, Narayana, Vishnu, and all that. So like this, they have their own some theory. So upasita, like this, the Veda is now giving us vidhi to do the upasana. Okay, based on whatever the Veda itself is revealing, different upasanas. That is again analyzed how to do the upasana, what is the phala. So in this manner, what tathacha Kritshnam Shastram Kriya Parameva. So the entire Shastra is Kriya Para. Okay, it is only about doing things, activities, action. So again, that means what? It is only revealing sadhana sadhya. It is not about siddha vastu. So evam pradhana pratipadya abhedat sati api avantara bhede nasti shastra bhedaha iti. So like this, now they are saying what? So there are three kandas. There is a Purva Kanda, Madhyama Kanda, Uttara Kanda. In all these things, the Pradhana Pratipadya is Kriya only. It is all Kriya Param. Avantara Bheda is there. Yajnadi Karma is revealed before. Later on, only Manasa Kriya is revealed. Okay. Like this, there are Avantara Bheda is there. But that Avantara Bheda, based on that, you cannot say that the Shastra itself is different. Like this, that is their argument. If you say like that, Ma Evam, it's not in this manner. Why? So, यदि एवं उपासनमपि मनोव्यापाररूपत्वात् क्रिया इति उच्यते तर्हि ज्ञानमपि क्रिया एव स्यात्. So now here, see, the Vishishtadvaitins talk about jnana karma samuchaya. Okay. So even for them, there is an ajnana dasha and a jnana dasha. In fact, this point Bhashyakara also says very explicitly in the Brihadaranyaka Bhashya itself, that everybody has to accept a jnana dasha and an ajnana dasha. But what is the nature of this ajnanam and what jnanam is required to get rid of this ajnanam and all, only there is a difference. So even Dvaitins and Vishishtadvaitins have to talk about a samsara, and the samsara is a result of ajnanam, and that ajnanam has to go away with a certain knowledge. Okay, so this is common. So they also talk about jnanam, but having gained jnanam also one has to do karma. That is their siddhanta. That is the jnana karma samuchaya. That being the case, now here our author is playing a nice argument with them. Let us see. So here, so if you say upasana, because it is mano vyapara rupa, right? It is in the form of mental activity. So therefore it is kriya only. It is karma. If you say like that, then they say that, see, that they say that the Sankarsha Kanda is about upasana, and they also say that Brahma Sutra also, although they say it is jnanam, but that jnanam also is gained only through upasana for them, because this Aham Brahmasmi and all is like is only an ahangraha upasana for them. Okay, all the Mahavakyas are all treated as upasana only. So, but even then they call it jnanam. I don't know how. There is there is some confusion there anyway. But here what he is trying to address is, you people recommend jnana karma samuchaya. If you say upasana also is kriya because it is manasa vyapara rupa, then jnanam also is a kriya because it is also manasa vyapara is involved in jnanam, correct? So jnanam api kriya eva syat, he says. And he is also saying jna dhatvartaha hi jnanam dhatuscha kriyavachi. So even if you take the jna dhatu, which is there in the Paniniya dhatu pata, so in that dhatu itself is, all dhatus are kriyavachi only. That is why it is there in the dhatu pata. So jnanam is derived from jna dhatu, and it is kriyavachi, means it is also kriya only. And that is not desirable for you, he says. Nacha ishtapatti kevala karmanaha na mokshaha jnana sahitat karmanastu mokshaha iti tava siddhanta bhanga prasangat. So if I say jnana also is kriya only, in fact they try to say like that to us. We always differentiate, saying that jnanam is vastu tantra, kriya is purusha tantra and all that, correct? But now we are pushing the same, whatever they are directing towards us. Bellamkonda has reversed it towards them now. So he is saying, if jnana is kriya, even your siddhanta, there will be bhanga. There is a problem for you because you are saying jnana sahita karmanaha moksha, correct? Then if you say jnana also is kriya, then it is meaningless, correct? It will become like kriya sahita kriya. So what are you really talking about then? So your siddhanta itself is now, if you, because you say kevala karmanaha moksha na, okay, just by doing karma there is no moksha. So you have to do karma along with jnanam, or jnanam along with karma, then only you will get moksha. But that siddhanta itself will become a problem. Further, what karma hi kriya jnanam cha kriyaiva iti katham kriyaya eva kriyayas samuchayah. So this is what I told you. See, karma is kriya and jnanam also is kriya. Jnanam cha kriya eva iti. If jnanam also is kriya, then your jnana sahita karma or whatever, correct? Jnana karma samuchaya will now become kriyayaha kriyaya eva kriyayaha samuchaya. It will become, correct? You have to mix kriya with kriya, like that it will be, it is meaningless. Okay, for this they can come back and say, what? See, this jnanam can mean, in fact, even when we talk about dhatu, there is a saying that phala vyaparayoho dhatuhu, like that. Okay, so a dhatu can refer to the vyapara, means the actual activity, and also the result of that activity. Okay. So typical example which is given is the pach dhatu, you say pachati. So there is a pach dhatu, cooking. Means cooking is an activity, But from the pach dhatu, you can also say paka, means the cooked food itself is called, that is the phala, the result of the pachati also is a word derived from the pach dhatu alone can refer to the phala also of the vyapara. So now they are saying jnanam is phalam alone and not kriya. So nacha jnanam phalameva na kriya iti vachyam. That is what now the author is addressing that point. If they say that no, jna dhatu may be there, but when we say jnanam, it doesn't refer to any vyapara, but it is only the phala. Like that, if you say also, it is meaningless, he says. Why? Because there is no possibility of any karma without any jnanam, correct? Even the Vaidika karma, you can do only after knowing about it. The iti kartavyata and all you have to know. You have to know all the other means, the tools involved. Everything you have to know first. And then only you can do. So in fact, everything is jnana karma samuchaya only. Like that if you see. Without jnanam, there cannot be any karma. So he is pointing out that you cannot say that jnanam is only phalam eva. So that's why he says tata sati आद्य पुरोडाशादि पदार्थ ज्ञान सहितमेव सर्वं कर्मापि इति कृत्वा कथं केवल कर्म सिद्धिः. So he is pointing out that there is nothing called kevalam karma. Okay, there is nothing called kevalam karma because all karma again has to be preceded by jnanam. Without knowing, how can you even do something? First you have to know. In fact, the entire Mimamsa, Purva Mimamsa is about jnanam only, correct? First you know what are all the sadhanas, sadhyas, and the iti kartavyata. Then you have to do. Then only you are going to get the phalam. So without jnanam, there is no karma, and therefore you talking about kevalam karma, not giving moksha itself is meaningless. In fact, any karma cannot give moksha. That we accept. There is no concept of kevalam karma, jnana sahitam karma. That itself is a meaningless classification. That's what we are trying to show here. Because all karma is anyway jnana sahitam only. Particularly when we are talking about vyavahara jnana. Okay. So once we say like this, now the Purva Pakshi is coming back. What he says, Nacha Brahma Jnana Rahitam Karma Kevala Karmeti Vivakshatam Iti Vachyam. So now he is saying Brahma Jnana Rahitam Karma Kevalam Karma. So we are not talking about all other jnanam. Okay, when we say Jnana Rahitam Karma, we also accept that you have to know about all the sadhana and sadhya and then only you can do the karma. But here we are specifically talking about Brahma Jnana Rahitam Karma. So without the knowledge of Brahman, whatever karma you do, that will not give moksha. But if you do the karma, once you have become a Brahma Jnani, correct? That is their argument. Then that jnana karma samuchaya will produce moksha. That is what we are saying. Okay, like that you should not say. You cannot say that also is saying. Na vachyam. Why? Because Brahma Jnana Sahita Karmanaha Eva Abhavena Visheshana Anarthakyat. So he is saying there cannot be anything called Brahma Jnana Sahita Karma. Okay? That Brahma Jnana Sahita is a qualification to karma, that itself is an oxymoron or a meaningless qualification or adjective. Because there is nothing like Brahma Jnana Sahita Karma. So there is abhava. There is nothing like Brahmajnana Sahita Karma. It cannot be there at all. Therefore, that Brahmajnana Sahita iti, that adjective itself is useless, purposeless. Why? Because he says, Nacha Brahmajnanina Kritam Karma, Brahmajnana Sahita Karma, Brahmajnana Rahitena Kritam Karma, Kevala Karmeti Vachyam. So if we say like this, then they are again, the Purvapakshi comes back and says, no, why? Whatever karma which is done by a Brahmajnani is the Brahmajnana Sahita karma, and whatever karma done by Ajnanis who do not have the Brahmajnana, that is all Kevalam karma. Why cannot it be like that? So if they say like that, he says no, that also na vachyam. Why? Brahmajnanina karmanaha eva kriyamanatvat karma kartri brahmajnanitva asampratipatte. So, so brahmajnanina karmanaha eva akriyamanatvat, because the brahmajnani does not do anything, cannot do anything. Because why? One is a brahmajnani only one when one knows oneself as akarta, abhokta. कर्मण्यकर्मयः पश्येत् अकर्मणि च कर्मयः सबुद्धिमान् मनुष्येषु sayukta kritsna karma kriti, like this Bhagavan says. In fact, Bhagavan straight away in the second chapter also, kam ghatayati hanti kammanal is there, correct? So, veda vinashinam nityam yenamajam avyayam atham sapurusha partha kam ghatayati hanti kam. So, this Atma Swarupa is shown as one of akartritvam only, correct? The nature of oneself is that aham, nishkriyam, nirgunaha, all these things, that is one's nature. That being the case, how can the Brahmajnani do anything? Guna guneshu vartante iti matvana sajjate and all, Bhagavan also very clearly says. It's all only prakrityaivacha karmani kriyamanani sarvashaha ahankara vimudhatma kartaham iti manyate. So many, Gita itself is so clear about that. So that being the case, Brahmajnani is the one who is not a karta, who is not a bhokta. Then how can you say that Brahmajnani can do karma? Okay. So, in fact, even though it may appear that he is doing thing, really he does not do anything. Even this Bhagavan says, correct? Karmanya abhipravritto api naiva kinchit karoti saha. Or he says, with reference to himself also he says, what? Chaturvarnyam maya srishtam gunakarma vibhagashaha tasya kartaram api mam vidya kartaram avyayam. Like this akartritvam is the main teaching. Okay. Akartritvam being one's own nature. So how can the Brahmajnani do any karma? Brahmajnani cannot do anything. So Brahmajnanina karmanaha eva akriyamanatvat karma kartari brahmajnanitva asampratipatte, means it is not tenable that karma and also the kartritvam, correct? These things with reference to the Brahmajnani, they are not tenable. In fact, he explains further, Uparatasya eva Brahmajnanitva Shravanat. Again, who is the one who attains this Brahmajnana, means that person must have been a one who has withdrawn himself from all karma, even in a relative sense, correct? That is why that in the Samadhi Shatka Sampattihi, the Uparama is talked about. Again, Uparama or Uparati is generally taken as sannyasa, means you give up all karma itself. Or if you don't take it as sannyasa, at least kamya karma one has to give up. Okay. And still do nitya naimitika karma, prayasita karma with the yoga buddhi. Means phalatyaga you have to do. Either you have to do karma tyaga itself or you have to do phalatyaga and refrain from all kamya karma. Only for such a person, this brahmajnanitvam can be gained. This is very clearly the Shruti itself says in the Brihadaranyaka also. So uparato bhutva and all is there, correct? So once we say like this, what Purva Pakshi now, nacha uparatihi na karma sannyasa kintu chitta vikshepa abhavaha iti vachyam. So now they are saying uparatihi na karma sannyasa. So uparati cannot be taken as karma sannyasa. In fact, many of them are allergic to sannyasa itself. So they don't accept sannyasa ashrama. So they can say, no, whatever, you are interpreting Uparati as karma sannyasa, but that is not so. In fact, Uparati is only what? chitta vikshepa abhava means there is no, mind is not distracted, mind is one pointed and all that. Iti vachyam. So you cannot say that, he says. Why? Even assuming that it is chitta vikshepa abhava is there, the one who has chitta vikshepa abhava cannot do anything really. Because any activity requires your mind to be active. Without the mind being active, no activity willfully can be done. Okay. So, what chitta viksha abhava you are talking about? Like this he is asking. So he will say, see, dehadi kriyayas chitta vyapara purvakatvena चित्तस्य एव अविक्षिप्तत्वे कथं क्रिया सद्भावः. So he is asking any kriya, whether it is कायिकं कर्म, वाचिकं कर्म, all of them also involves mind. Okay. So manasa eva shravanam, manasa eva darshanam and all this, like this, without mind being backing up your sense organs, you can't do any activity really speaking, whether it is organs of action or sense organs, all of them have to be backed up by the mind. So chitta vyapara is a prerequisite for any bodily action. And if chitta itself is resolved, let us say, chittasyeva avikshiptatve means it is not active, then katham kriya sadbhavaha, how can there be any possibility of existence of any action or activity? Therefore, what? Tasmat Purvamimamsayam pradhana pratipadyam karma iva. So therefore, in the Purvamimamsa, we accept the pradhana pratipadya is karma. And that is very clearly said by Jaimini. Amna yasya kriyarthatvad iti Jaiminina kantoktatvad. So Jaimini has said very clearly. The Veda is all about kriya. Okay. And even there what? Anything other than kriya also, if it is there even in the Purva Bhaga, it has to be interpreted as arthavada. That also he says here. Vajra astaha purandara ityadi vakyani tu kriya shesha bhuta devatadi swarupa pratipadakatvena sarthakani tacha sputam. Okay. Athavadikarane. Okay. So again, this arthavada is also talked about, that anything other than the kriya, even if it is there, we have to connect it with the kriya. Okay. So that is called ekavakyata with reference to a particular adhikarana. So they connect any story, or even there are stories like Agni cried and it became silver. Means then they connect this with the kriya saying that you should not give silver as a dana. Because Agni cried and it became silver, means silver should not be given as dana. Like this and all they interpret. This is how they connect arthavada with a particular kriya. So this also is there. So this is all part of Purva Mimamsa. There are vidhi and anything else also we have to connect it with the vidhi. But Uttara Mimamsa is different. Uttara Mimamsayam tu pradhana pratipadyam brahma. So here we are not talking about any kriya. The pradhana pratipadya, the main thing which is revealed in the Vedanta and which is analyzed in the Uttara Mimamsa is what? Brahma. Because that's why it starts as Brahma Jignasa, correct? Brahman is the Pratipadyam. That is why the first sutra itself is Brahma Jignasa. And then the Brahma Lakshana is given, correct? The Tatastha Lakshanam is given, Janmadhyasya Yataha. And then Shastra Yonitvat also is basically this Lakshana for Brahman only, correct? Shastrasyapi Yonitvat. Means this Brahman is Sarvajnam, Sarvashakti, Matvam and all we are giving as Lakshana for Brahman. So Shastra Yonitvad Kantokte. So from this we know that the pradhana, you say that pradhana pratipadya is same kriya. We do not accept that. We say that Purva Mimamsa kriya is the pradhana pratipadya. But in Uttara Mimamsa, Brahman alone is the Pradhana Pratipadya. Okay. And again, even if in the Vedanta, many Upanishads talk about Upasana, correct? Saguna Brahma Upasana is there. So Upasana tu Sagunasya, Nirgunasya cha Brahmanaha Sambandhini. So any Saguna Upasana also, like you, why he talked about Arthavada there is here also, all the Upasanas are there in the Upanishads, Saguna Upasana, but they have to be connected to the Nirguna Brahma Jnanam only. Correct? Like how you are connecting any other story, anything else which are Arthavada to the main karma, correct? Which is discussed in a particular section, and you are deriving an Ekavakyata. Like this here also in the Vedanta, any Upasana which is being talked about also, Nirgunasya Brahmanaha Sambandhini Brahma Jnana Upayogitaya Vihitani iti Pradhana Pratipadya Abhedat na Shastra Aikyamiti Sankshepaha. So finally he is completing the argument saying that even any Upasana which is there in the Upanishads, they have to be taken as it helps you to, it gives you Chitta Naischalyam. And by that it helps you to understand this Brahmajnanam only. So there is a Upayogita is there for that. It is helping you in gaining this Brahmajnanam. And for that purpose only it has been mandated there in the Upanishad. And therefore all the Upasanas are also in helping you in gaining the Brahmajnanam. Therefore they are not any different from the Pradhana Pratipadya, which is Brahman. Okay. So that is the main Tatparya. In this manner, there is no Shastra Aikyam between the Purva Bhaga and the Vedanta and the Purva Mimamsa and Uttara Mimamsa. Like this topic is finally over here. And now he is taking the new topic. Athato Brahma Jignasa iti atra Atha Shabda Vicharaha. So the Atha, so Atha is Anantaryartam, means thereafter in English, the meaning. So thereafter means after something, correct? What is that after something? What is that something? So even here there is no agreement between Ramanuja and Shankara. Okay. So that Vichara only is going to start now. This we will see in the next class. So here we have now finished one topic at least. This next topic we will take it up in the next class. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ ಗುರು.